Welcome. I am children's author and illustrator, Daniel Jude Miller, and today I have something super special to share with you. It's a project that is tons of fun. But before we get to that, before I get to explain this crazy cool project, I bet you that I can read your mind. Because I know exactly what you're thinking right at this moment. It's true. Watch. If I concentrate really, really hard, I could look through this camera right into your brain and see that you're thinking, what's inside that crate? Am I right? I knew it. Okay, here we are in my office studio. We have my hats up there on the wall. We also have some new things. A lot of garbage. We're going to get to that in a second. Before we get to what we're going to do with all this garbage, you're wondering what's inside that crate. And I'm going to tell you what's inside that crate at the end of the video. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait till the end of the video to find out what's living inside there. And don't skip ahead because you want to see this crazy cool project I have. Okay, let's get started because the project I want to share with you today is the most popular project on my entire Page O Fun. It is super creative and everyone can do it. And here's how it works. It's called the Homemade Monster Project. And the first step is to find an object. Now you want to find an object that comes from two categories. Number one, something that comes from the garbage. Something like broken phone, old video game controller, a glove that we can't find the other one to, CDs. You probably don't even know what these are. Dirty wallet, piece of a pool noodle. Even a smelly shoe will work. Or if you can't find something that's going in the trash, you can use something that's going in the recyclables. Things like soda bottles, empty detergent, egg carton without the eggs, used up cleaning supplies, or maybe even a plain old regular box. And before we continue, there's a little funny story that I'd like to share with you. A long time ago, I was at a school and I was telling a whole bunch of students like you about this really cool homemade monster project. And I told them that they needed to go around and find some garbage or something that's going in the recyclables to start with. And a little girl raised her hand. And I called on her and she said to me, "Oh well, I can't do this project. There's no garbage in my house. My house is really clean." Now, trust me, everybody has something in their house that they don't need. I promise you, no matter how clean your house is, you'll find something that you can make a monster out of. All right, and so this is very important. Now that you have your object, make sure you double check with your parents that it is definitely garbage and not something you need. But once you have it, it's time to move on to step two. Step two is that you're going to take that object and you're going to combine it with paint and glue and cotton balls and googly eyes and sparkles and glitter and markers and anything you can think of to turn that garbage into your very own monster. Okay, so you're going to take the recyclable thing or your box or your bottle and you're going to think about what that would become if it was a creature. And I want you to be super, super creative. I'll give you a few examples that'll help you get started. This first one here was made out of a tissue box. And she has angry eyebrows that came from the decorations on a Christmas tree. This next one was made out of a cereal box. And he's got a funny little mustache and ping pong balls for eyes. Here we have one made out of a paper bag. She has ribbons for hair and cups for arms. This one is a little zombie made out of tiny cardboard boxes, and he's got a little cardboard hat. Okay, this one here is one of my absolute favorites. It's made out of a cardboard box with cups and pipe cleaners that make his eyes stick out really high. He's got a little ribbon, I think, for tongue, and he's got shoes. But the best part is how sparkly this one is. Okay, here is a video of what happens when an entire school does the homemade monster project. Wow! Look at all those monsters. Now remember, you have to be really, really creative. I want you to use all your creative muscles to think of what your monster could be, because I have seen hundreds and hundreds of them, and they were all different. I've seen some monsters that lit up. I've seen some that were made out of springs. I've seen some that played music. And I even saw a monster at a school once that was remote controlled. Okay, so the only limits to what you can create is your imagination. So now we can move on to step 3, because we are not finished. Remember, I have 2 jobs. I'm the author, but I am also the illustrator. So if you try this project, you have to do both parts. The first part comes from the artist in you. The artist in you is going to find the object and get your decorations and make something that looks really, really cool. But you have to remember that the author in you has to finish the job. And the author in you is going to give your creature life. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to give it a name and you're going to give it a story. And when you're thinking of your monster's story, some of the questions you can try to answer are: where does your monster live? What does he or she like to eat? Is there something your monster is afraid of? Does your monster have friends? Do they smell? Do they like to eat grapes? Anything that you can think of, you can write down into your monster's story. So now we have arrived at step 4. You found your object, you decorated your creature, you gave it a name and a really interesting story with tons of information in it. And now, the most important part, you have to find a teacher or a parent and ask them to take a picture of your creation. And the reason I want you to take a picture is because when you do that, they can help you send it here to my email. Because I want to see what you created. And when I see it, I'm going to take it and put it onto my website, onto what I call the Gallery of Greatness. And there it will join all the other monsters that students send me so that everyone across America can see what you built. So this isn't just a project that I ask students to try. It's also one that I've done myself. And I'd like to introduce you to one of my monsters. She's actually not very scary. Her name is JJJ Jitters. And she was made out of a yellow bucket. She's got big old light bulbs for eyes. Her teeth are made out of wooden tongue depressors, and she's got plastic hands. I even found some pom-poms at the dollar store that I used for her hair. So here's JJ Jitters' story. She is a very, very excitable monster. Very, very excited. And she used to go with me all the time to school visits and author visits at a whole bunch of different classrooms. But the problem is she gets very, very excited. So the one word that you cannot say around JJJ Jitters, I can't even say it. It's the word, I'll spell it here. Now, if anyone ever says that word out loud, her head pops open and springy snakes and confetti come flying out. It's true. So maybe one day you'll get a chance to see JJ Jitters, but this is the monster that I made for the Homemade Monster Project. So now we have arrived at the end of the video, and I did not forget that I promised to tell you what's inside this crate. But before I tell you what's inside, let me share some things about the actual crate itself. It is made out of real wood. It's got real nails, that is a real chain, and it is very heavy. Now, a real chain like that with a real lock would need a real key. Oh no, I forgot where I put the key. That's a problem. So you know what we're going to have to do? While I go and look for my key, I'm going to need you to tell your parents and tell your teachers and tell the librarian at your school that you want to know what's inside that crate. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to call me and say, come to our school and talk to all of our students about how you make books. But don't forget to bring your crate. And most importantly, make sure you find that key. And I'm going to come to your school and I'm going to bring this crate and I'm going to bring that key and we're going to open it together in person. And you're going to see what's hiding inside there. So that's what you need to do. First, I want you to go and I want you to make a monster and I want you to make it really cool and I want you to take a picture and send it to me. But also tell your parents and tell your teachers and everyone at your school, anyone that will listen, that you need to see what's inside this box. And the only way we can do that is if they call me and say, please come and bring your crate to my library or to my school. Okay, how does that sound? Okay, thanks for watching and don't forget to send me your monsters, send me your stories, tell everyone about this video, and make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other videos I make about writing and drawing and books and a lot of fun stuff. Take care. Have a great day.